said.
I see them. Can I smell the lemon?
Sure.
Smells like candy.
It smells like candy. It is sweet and sour. Hi everyone, welcome to my bed. My name is Jay. I have some writing updates to share and I have some thoughts, and I know a lot of people are really dying to hear those thoughts, so I thought let me just come on here. Yeah, if you're new here, I'm Jay, as I've mentioned, and I'm a literary fiction writer, and right now I'm working on a literary fiction book called Grace. I call it Grace on the internet, but I don't actually have a title for it, but TMI, that doesn't matter. It is about a special ed substitute teacher, which is what I am, but it's not autobiographical. The kids are not real. I am not real. It is just based on my experiences, and here are some updates for you. I was adding up my word count, and I've been working on this book for like a month now, solidly, and guess how many words I have? 2,300. Yeah, I'm as shocked as you are. I was like, are you sure there's not more? But I will say 2,300 is just finished sections. I have a bunch of other stuff written that technically is finished, but it's within like an unfinished chapter. Or I'm not really doing chapters, I'm doing vignettes. So it's in an unfinished vignette. So I'm not counting it. It should be closer to like 10,000, I hope, because 2,300 is pretty terrifying. But slow and steady wins the race, and the way I'm drafting it, hopefully those 2,300 words are final draft words. So it's kind of like I'm doing the first draft and the line edit at the same time. Obviously, I'll have to change stuff. I drafted my last book like this, really clean, thinking I wouldn't have to make huge changes, and then now I'm rewriting the entire book. Shout out Shark Book. We will talk about her in a little bit. Yeah, I'm just trying to accept my slowness. It does not make for good content, unfortunately, but it's who I am and I can't change who I am. But I really love how it's turning out, and that's kind of the first thing I wanted to talk about. I've been reflecting, and I've just noticed that in the past maybe year or so, maybe year is too long, maybe like 6 months or so, when I have a vision for a scene, I can make it happen. Like, I can always get what's in my head out on the paper, and it's always exactly what I want. Not always right away, hence the 2,300 words in a month situation, but I can get there, and it's just like, where's my award? I'm not saying my writing's the best in the world, but I like it. If I read it, I would like it from an outside perspective. So I'm just really proud of myself. And so I was reflecting on how I became so talented. And of course, I think this is common for writers, but when I read, I cannot just read. I have to like study what I'm reading. And so I do that. And one technique that I always use is when I come across a line that I really like, I try to think of what the author was trying to say, like their initial idea, like, oh, I want a line that conveys this. And then I try to follow that initial idea. Like I try to follow the thread and get to the line that they ended up with, because I think it really helps when I'm writing. I'm like, okay, I want a line that conveys this emotion in my main character, but I don't just want to say that, because it's literary fiction and you can't just say what you mean. You have to be pretty. I like that I have developed this skill where if I want to say something, I can say it in a really interesting way. Yeah, and I was FaceTiming some writing friends yesterday, and shout out writing friends. And Josie, who opened the comment section, you will see her there. She gave me this idea to go through and show you some lines in books that I like, and kind of give you an example of the thought process. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with what I'm reading right now, which is Giovanni's Room. I read this in college for the first time, and honestly, college was really rough for me and I couldn't focus, but I'm rereading it now, and this book is so good. It's just Oh, it's so good. So there's a little line, and this is simple. Okay, I have a line that I really love that I'm going to show you next. This one is just simple, but I like it. Could have been just a throwaway line, but it's not because, well, James Baldwin is a good writer. I'm not saying I know what was going on in his head, but I like to imagine that this was going on in his head. So Giovanni's Room is about gay men. And our main character, David, is gay, and we kind of get that early on the first page. And he says, he's describing, okay, honestly, the flash from my phone is blinding me and I can't read the words on this page. There's like a big dot right where I'm trying to read. David's describing something. I can't remember where he is. This is a hypothetical situation. And he says, there will be a girl sitting opposite me who will wonder why I have not been flirting with her, who will be set on edge by the presence of the recruits. Okay, that last part is irrelevant. But there will be a girl sitting opposite me who will wonder why I've not been flirting with her. And, okay, so pretend I'm James Baldwin. I'm like, okay, I want to convey early on that our boy David is gay. So, maybe I could describe his relationship with women. Maybe I can describe him out somewhere and say, oh, but I won't be flirting with the women. But that's so boring and basic, and like I said, this is literary fiction, so we gotta put our best foot forward. So maybe we can take it from the girl's perspective. We can make it interesting, and by making the girl wonder why David's not flirting with her, we can also make the reader wonder. Yeah, so that's kind of an example, and then that's just what I've been reading right now. But there's a line in here, but I forgot that I should be tabbing this, because normally I read library books, so I can't like do anything to them, but this is actually mine and I should have been tabbing it. But basically there's a line in here where, slight spoiler, but like it doesn't matter, our main character has sex with a woman and normally she has sex with men, and she's describing how she feels after having sex with this woman, and I cannot remember the exact line, but it's something like how having sex with a woman is like masturbation, but without the void that feels like waking up after a nap and finding that it's dark outside. I'm sorry. Go read the book because I didn't say it right. But I read that for the first time and I just loved, I could just imagine waking up from a nap. It's dark outside and like that is a void. That is a void. And so instead of our author, what is our author's name? Yasmin Zahar. I hope that's right. Sorry, darling. But instead of Yasmin just saying, this sex is way more fulfilling than sex with a man, or this sex is way more fulfilling than masturbation, she's like, okay, what does masturbation or sex or loneliness feel like? Oh, it feels like a void. It feels like after you masturbate or have unfulfilling sex, it kind of feels like nothing has changed. Like it's this like sudden, it's this climax, and then it's like, And so I like so then I try to like think of something similar. What else feels like that? Oh, you wake up, like post-nut clarity, and then you wake up and it's like, oh, it's still dark outside. Like it's still nighttime. Like I should still be sleeping. Nothing's changed. I don't know if this makes sense, but you know what? I am a good writer these days. And that's how I do it. So take my secrets and go sell a book, everybody. Also, I've never sold a book or gotten close. But anyways, so yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. What else am I talking about? Oh, okay, so I wanted to talk about how I love Grace. I love the book. I think it's turning out beautifully. But I do not, like, I don't think about it. I don't think about it when I hear songs, and I don't think about it. I think about it when I'm falling asleep, in the sense that if I'm working on a passage, I'm thinking of the lines in my head and how to make things sound good, or I'm thinking of ideas if I'm kind of stumped on an emotional level for my character. I'll think of ideas for that. But for the shark book, which is my other literary fiction novel, which is about two shark divers and their best friends, I always was thinking about that when I was writing it. Like, and I wasn't thinking about it in the sense that I was trying to think about how I was going to write it. I was just thinking about the characters like they were people that I knew. And now I've shelved the shark book for a little bit to let it marinate, and I still am thinking about my boys. I'm not thinking about my characters in Grace, and I don't really know why. I mean, partially the shark book, I mean, if you don't know, I love sharks, and I also love male platonic friendships. Well, platonic, they don't have to be platonic, but I love male relationships. I don't know why. I don't know. I know that's not feminist. I was thinking about it, and I think I like them so much because I can't be part of them. And so they're kind of fascinating. But anyways, so the shark book has sharks. It has that male relationship that I like so much. I like the setting. I like the imagery. There's a lot of fruit imagery, which for some reason I'm so fixated on. And so I think the shark book has a leg up automatically, but I'm not working on it right now. I should be thinking way more about Grace. But when a song comes on, I'm still thinking about my voice from the shark book. And so I'm trying to counteract that. I'm trying to purposefully seek out songs that remind me of Grace. This one verse in Funeral by Phoebe Bridgers, I'll put it on the screen. That really reminds me of my characters in Grace. So I'm getting there, and I think it's fine. I still, like I said, I really like how the book is turning out, but I feel like I should be more obsessed with it, and I'm not. Well, I am. Like, I'm obsessed, sorry. I love it, but I'm not so fixated on it. But I'll try to counteract that, but also, like, who cares? I'm still writing it. It's fine. Also, I'm still getting ideas for the shark book because of this. Like, the other night, I was thinking about this one scene, and when I'm falling asleep, I have anxiety, by the way. So when I'm falling asleep, I like to think of fake scenarios that just completely take me out of my actual life. And a lot of times I'll think about slow moments between my main two characters in the shark book. And so I was imagining this moment between them, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, they have to say that, and that'll tie into that. And so then I had to leave myself a voice note in the middle of the night. So I'm still thinking of ideas for it, which was kind of the point of shelving it, to kind of let it marinate. So it's fine. It's actually great. Maybe it's for the best that I can balance thinking about the shark book and then actually writing another book. Okay, this next part of the video, I would just like to say, Luis, if you're watching this, I love you so much. You're not gonna like this part. Maybe you will, but I am gonna mention the HR word. So I think I just tread lightly. Okay, so as we all know, everyone's obsessed with Heated Rivalry. I'm not gonna get into it. I will say, yeah, I love it. It's amazing. But I have this, I'm kind of fighting the urge to get obsessed with it because I have this issue where I'll get really obsessed with a piece of media. It doesn't really happen with books. I feel like books are more directly just inspirational for me, and they just make me want to write. But when I get really obsessed with a show or a movie, it makes it so hard to write. And it's weird because it's not a comparison thing where it's like, oh, this is better than what I'm doing. Because I'm writing a literary fiction book. I'm not trying to write this gay hockey show. I wish. So it's not even that I feel less than, but I do just feel less motivated to work on my own story. And I think there's a couple reasons. I think, first of all, it kind of just reminds me how much work it is to write my own story. And I'm like, there's already something really great out there that I can get obsessed with. Why am I putting myself through this and writing this horrific first draft? Not that it's horrific, but it's like, it takes so long, and I have to think about all these semicolons and all these synonyms and all this stuff, and I'm just like, what am I doing this for? Like, why do I have to do this? Like, I can just be a consumer, and I would probably be so much more content. I feel like everyone is probably thinking it, and if you're a writer, you feel like you have to write, and that's how I feel. So I do have the little impulse to be really demotivated and just not work on my stuff because I would rather consume. But then eventually I just get this urge and I kind of have to write. But when I get really obsessed with something, that urge is a little bit tampered down. So yeah, I watched Heated Rivalry, and it's so stunning, and it's so much I love. Like I mentioned, I like these male relationships. Yeah, I just loved it so much, and I was like, just demotivated to go back to my story. Not that I don't love it, but just, oh my god, so much work, so much anguish to write this thing. A quick interlude, if you're wondering, I did get a haircut. Here is about 15 seconds of home haircut content.
Oh, it's like the whole thing. I'm not even cut that.
Okay.
Wow, honey.
I think this is fine. It's more like if it's like up here, you get. I can't see it. Fuck.
Big reveal, big reveal. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Shout out Kaylee and Kiara. The last thing I'll talk about is my writing friends. So I have writing friends now. I kind of held off talking about this because I don't want to sound like I'm obsessed with these girls. But when I was just watching AuthorTube and not participating in it, I was so jealous isn't the right word, but like so inspired by the friendships that I was seeing people make and the connections and people being like, oh, I'm going to call so-and-so and write with them for an hour. I was like, that sounds great. And then I got on AuthorTube, and then for a little bit it was crickets, as it goes. Now I have people, because I reach out to people who I really like, and I have some amazing writing friends. It's just made me, I just feel so fulfilled by having people who get it and are so excited to read your stuff, and it just makes you excited to write it. I've been sending little snippets of grace to my writing friends, and I've never shared work with somebody this early on in the process. And I think it's really healthy to get other people's perspectives and kind of see how they're interpreting things and just get used to putting yourself out there. And how do I explain this? Like I have a certain relationship with my work, and I feel a certain way about it, and I think it means one thing, and I think it's coming across a certain way. Before I started sharing it with people, I might have had this sense of like thinking that that the agents I was querying would see it the same way that I see it, but sending it to people has been great because it kind of opens my eyes to how everyone's lived experiences kind of change how they're gonna see it. And not in a bad way, like no one's being like, oh, this is bad. Like my girls are lovely, but it's just a good reminder so that when I send it out and I get those rejections, those form rejections, it's not personal. And it's just like, it's just part of writing that everyone's going to see it differently. And I just hope I find an agent who gets me, and then we can fall in love professionally. I always wanted to have writing friends, like I mentioned, but I also was a little bit curious of how that would go for me, because I feel like I don't feel like I am such an introvert, and for a while writing was just my thing, like it was just between me and my work. And so I was a little curious how much I would want to share with my writing friends, and like how much I would want to share my writing. And I don't just mean like how much I would want to send it, but like how much I would want to share my feelings about it and my process, and like how much I would want to actually write with people. And as such an introvert, I'm so surprised how much I love writing with people. Like it never feels draining. It always feels I just feel so refreshed and so much more excited about my work and their work. If you're thinking of starting an AuthorTube channel, just know you will hear crickets for a while, and it's honestly really embarrassing, but then it will work out, and you should do it, and you'll find your people. Yeah, okay, I think that's all I have to talk about in this writing update. Please comment down below what you guys are working on. Genuinely, just comment anything. I just love hearing from you guys. I hope your writing is going great. Try my technique. Try my technique, okay? If you hate your writing, it's because you didn't try my technique, okay? Okay, goodbye.
I have 99. All right. Wait, Mason has to do it. Otherwise, it's fraud. Come here, Kira. 100 subscribers. Mason, can you be my 100th subscriber? Hey guys.